I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
A campaign that say free Beyonce.
Beyonce is 20.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
Oh, honey, hold on to your wigs because DaBaby just came out swinging, exposing Beyonce for allegedly being at one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. I know, right? Just when we thought this Diddy mess couldn't get any deeper, it's like we've fallen into a bottomless pit of scandals. A snippet from DaBaby's interview with Shanon Sharpe from a few months ago is now going viral faster than a TikTok dance challenge. In it, he's spilling major tea about Beyonce and Jay Z being at one of Diddy's parties, and let me tell you, it's got people talking. Now, there have been whispers for a hot minute about Jay treating Beyonce like Diddy was treating Cassie, but people were in denial, honey. They couldn't see past that power couple image Bey and Jay have been serving us for years. It's like finding out your favorite fairy tale isn't real. But here's where it gets wild. Apparently, Jay's been keeping Beyonce up for days on end, making her indulge in some pretty depraved activities. I know it sounds like something out of a bad movie, right? But wait, there's more. It's not just DaBaby spilling the tea. A lot of people who've worked closely with Beyonce have also come forward with similar stories. But it took DaBaby, of all people, to wake folks up and make them realize what's really been going on. Talk about an unexpected plot twist. Now, let's rewind a bit and talk about Diddy. His reign as the villain of the industry has officially come to an end. Loves. Homeland Security busted him and threw him in jail faster than you can say bad boy for life. And get this, he's been denied bail twice in 48 hours by 2 separate judges. Diddy even offered a $50 million bond, sacrificed all his properties, his mom's properties, and the passports of every single one of his kids. But those judges weren't having it. They want that man to stay in his cell until the trial starts. It's like they're saying, no amount of money can buy your freedom this time, Diddy. And if that wasn't bad enough, Diddy's facing up to 100 years in jail. Even his defense team is scratching their heads trying to figure out how to get him out of this mess. It's like trying to dig your way out of a hole with a spoon. It ain't gonna happen, honey. Now, let's talk about what the feds found during that raid on Diddy's house 6 months ago. We're talking firearms, ammunition, and get this, more than 1,000 bottles of lubricant. I mean, was he planning to slip and slide his way out of trouble? U.S. Prosecutor Damian Williams dropped some major bombs during a recent press briefing. They found 3 semi-automatic weapons with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine. But that's not all, folks. Prosecutors are accusing Diddy of creating a whole criminal enterprise. We're talking forced labor, kidnapping, arson, and bribery. They say he coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires and even got physical. Striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking them. It's like a horror movie come to life. But here's where it gets even crazier. The prosecutors explicitly said that Diddy wasn't running this enterprise solo. They're saying other celebrities and powerful people were heavily involved in these criminal activities too. It's like a twisted version of Hollywood's A-list. The indictment says, and I quote, "For decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka Love, the defendant, coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct." They also said, to do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Now, the prosecutors didn't name names, but you know how the internet is. Speculation is running wild, and the names at the top of everybody's list? Jay Z and Beyonce. And that's where DaBaby's interview comes in. He opened up about meeting Beyonce and Jay Z at one of Diddy's industry parties. He said there were some powerful people there and that Beyonce actually walked up to him to introduce herself. DaBaby even hinted that she might have been flirting with him. According to DaBaby, Diddy kicked out all the non-important people from the room, leaving only him, Beyonce, Jay Z, and a few other high-profile people. And then things got weird. DaBaby says Diddy started getting touchy and even put his hands around his neck.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay Z and Beyonce being you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. This Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
Well, loves, this sent the internet into a frenzy faster than a sale at Sephora. People are giving Beyonce the side eye, wondering what she was really doing at that party. One person commented, "Oh, she came over and introduced herself to you? The Beyonce introduced herself to you? Ooh, we waking up." Another said, "You let that man put his arm around you? DaBaby, of course he took a liking to you. It wasn't even about your music, it was in other ways. And of course, Beyonce did she. Weird herself and Jay Z even weirder. Everybody who went to Diddy's parties is guilty. Some folks are even speculating that Jay Z was pimping Beyonce out to Diddy. Now, I know that sounds wild, but there have been allegations about Jay Z keeping Beyonce drugged up to control her and make her do things she wouldn't normally do sober. These rumors actually started with her ex-bodyguard, Uncle Ron, who used to work for her during the early stages of her career. He said, "Beyonce's on drugs. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way." Now, doesn't that sound eerily similar to what Diddy was allegedly doing to Cassie? But it doesn't stop there, honey. Jaguar Wright also stepped into the chat a few months ago, accusing Jay of keeping Beyonce on substances for the same reasons Uncle Ron was claiming.
Jay Z. Why has Jay Z been coming up with you lately?
Because he's a monster. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in a character.
No, girl.
And then there was that viral video of Beyonce looking completely zoned out at a basketball game with Jay. She could barely keep her eyes open and kept slowly swinging her head from side to side. Her PR team tried to claim she was just tired from rehearsals, but honey, nobody was buying that. Shortly after this, Beyonce's assistant spilled some major tea to media takeout. They said, "Seems that for a while he's had a problem with keeping his hands to himself. Now, I've never seen him just flat out strike B, but too many times I've seen him shove and push her. At first, I thought that it was just a little horseplay between the two, but once I saw how embarrassed Bey was to be manhandled in front of me in Saint-Tropez, I realized that it was no joke." The assistant continued, "I've been Beyonce's assistant and friend for a while now, and I've always wanted to say something, but I never felt it was my place. He treats Beyonce like she's an object, not a person." Now, it's unclear how far Jay Z has dragged Beyonce into all this mess, but it looks like it's about to get exposed. And honey, no amount of fame or power is going to be able to stop it, especially when Diddy's trial starts. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this. One person said, "Beyonce and Jay going down next. It seems like the elites of Hollywood are having a downfall. I love Bey, but unfortunately, she is caught up in the mess by even being married to Jay. It's been so much said about how he has Beyonce on drugs and everything. My thing is, I'm not surprised Bey was there at a random Diddy party. Y'all always try to separate y'all faves from the BS, but y'all seem to forget they live that Hollywood life. You can't trust anyone in Hollyweird. Most of your faves have kept silent about all this." Another person chimed in, "Jay Z was good friends with R. Kelly and now Diddy. Seems like a pattern to me. And I don't believe Beyonce was just some innocent bystander through all this." So, what do y'all think about all this tea, loves? Was Beyonce really at Diddy's freak-off party? Do you think Jay Z was pimping her out like DaBaby is insinuating? Or is this all just a bunch of wild speculation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because honey, this tea is too hot not to discuss. And don't forget to check out my next video for more juicy celebrity gossip. Remember, in Hollywood, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and this story is proving that in spades. Until next time, this is Hot Gossip, keeping it real and serving up the hottest tea in town. Stay fabulous, stay informed, and most importantly, stay tuned. Bye.